All right, people, this is a conversation we have to have. And the reason why I want to make this video is because when JJ Reddick became the coach of the Lakers, he was basically appointed by LeBron. The Lakers didn't really do a coaching search. That is fraudulent, fake news, and a joke. They were always going to be bringing in JJ Reddick. It was always going to be LeBron's call, and that's what it was. And there's no other way around it. What's also must be acknowledged and understood by everyone is that LeBron didn't like Darvin Ham. Darvin Ham was viewed as resistance. He was viewed as a non-pushover for LeBron. He was not input there by LeBron. He was not picked by LeBron. He wasn't one of LeBron's people. And that's how LeBron and his camp, that's how they work. They want to control everything. There's a reason why LeBron left Miami, and it's very obvious. He wasn't going to get to run the show. It was always going to be Pat Riley. So LeBron left. And he went to Cleveland where he was able to do that. That's just how these things work. Anyways, JJ Reddick comes in as a coach replacing Darvin Ham. A lot of people feel Darvin Ham was wrongfully fired. It doesn't matter. They bring in JJ Reddick. We need to evaluate his season. Just his regular season. His season was full of ups and downs. Injuries to Anthony Davis. The Luka trade. LeBron being injured. There was all types of things, all types of storylines. There's a lot of noise. It's LA. All those things come with the territory. But Darvin Ham deals with those same things. The same injury-prone AD. The same LeBron situation and drama. All those things. And people are trying to compare last season of Darvin Ham versus this season of JJ Reddick. They are so different. It's not even close. There really isn't an indication as to whether or not JJ Reddick is a better coach than Darvin Ham. Based on the eye test, based on the way I saw things play out, I don't think there's any definitive way to measure JJ as a better coach than Darvin Ham. But I will tell you this. LeBron picked JJ Reddick, so he had a vested interest in JJ being more successful than Darvin Ham. In fact, I don't think LeBron liked Darvin Ham at all. I think LeBron wanted to bring Bronny. I think LeBron wants control, and Darvin Ham was resistance. That's how I think everything played out, and I have my reasons, and I'm probably right. I'm not saying definitively. I feel very confident in that. Now JJ he's a LeBron puppet, right? He has to come in and try to coach a team while leaving LeBron alone, basically. He can't really coach LeBron. LeBron is not coachable. Never has been, never will be. And that's just kind of who he's been throughout his career. Every stop he's been at, every coach he's had, it's always ended bad. It's going to end bad for JJ. Promise. That's 100% going to happen. But what needs to be said is that this roster is the best it's ever been. Players have developed. You traded for Luka Doncic. It appears to be the thing that the Lakers needed to supplement and lift and help pull LeBron along in his aging seasons. And I want to give credit to Austin Reeves, who has been absolutely amazing. He's been a godsend. Who would have thought Austin Reeves was going to be this? I do want to give JJ some credit because there were times during the year where the team seemed like they were on fire, literally imploding, and the ship was able to be righted. But he has a lot of support. This guy has Nate McMillan and Scotty Brooks. That's NBA Finals and Western Conference Finals experience. He has one of the most loaded assistant coaching staffs. So he's not without the support. In fact, many times throughout the season, he looked flustered. He looked angry. He looked, was acting really sporadic. It was just hard. It was hard to gauge whether or not he was going to be able to keep his cool during certain stretches of the season. And that's his personality. That's how he is. If you ever listen to him speak, it's very condescending. It's very, arrogant and those kind of things. He's not everybody's cup of tea. But I don't think, as of right now, I don't think he's a better coach than Darvin Ham. I don't think his season indicates that he's better than Darvin Ham. I think he was dealt a better hand than Darvin Ham. In fact, LeBron loves to play for JJ Reddick, likely hated to play for Darvin Ham. And I also want to give credit to LeBron, who was able to play 70-plus games this year. Are we going to pretend like that doesn't matter? LeBron is a difference-making player when he's playing well and when he's not exhausted at the end of games and all those things. LeBron had a good season. It's the same type of stats from last year. Not that different. I mean, most of it's basically the same. So there was no drop off from LeBron. He played 70 plus games, relatively healthy, only missing a handful of games for a duration or a stretch due to that whatever groin situation near the end of the year. You get Luka, you got this coaching staff, but the real measure is the fact that JJ Redick needs to achieve in the playoffs. The Lakers have a lot. That is a really good team. That is a team that is loaded. Their starting five is as good as any in the NBA. One would argue that their starting five on paper is able to compete with the Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, defensively, it's another story. I'm just talking about you have Luka Doncic, who has garnered MVP considerations at durations of his career, and he was in the NBA Finals last year. And the main reason how they got from the Western Conference Finals to the NBA Finals. So he's there. You have LeBron, who is still a capable offensive player and has experience up the wazoo. You have Austin Reeves, who has come along to a point where legitimately he is like offense personified. He can get to the rim, he can shoot, he can dish, he can carry the offense for stretches of games where Luka might need to sit or LeBron doesn't have it. This team, right? The bench you can question. I think it's very mediocre and very average. But the starting lineup as it's constructed is very potent. And that's not what Darvin Ham had. It is a completely different thing. And I think that Darvin Ham did more with less. And I don't really think it's all that arguable. Maybe you disagree, but I will say that this is a successful season for JJ Redick. They walked away with the 3rd seed. Everything was really tight at the end. They could have been the 7th seed, right? But they ended up with the 3rd, and that's important because now they have home court advantage through a duration of the Western Conference Finals, unless they have to play the Rockets and or the Thunder. But no, I don't think JJ Redick is a better coach than Darvin Ham, but I do think he got a better outcome when you look at the record. But that's not going to be the measure of success here. Lakers standards are titles. And the last I checked, Darvin Ham was able in his first season to get to the Western Conference Finals where they lost in 4 games to the Denver Nuggets. And if you guys remember, they were very successful. They made runs. Those guys won a championship. Those guys got to the Western Conference Finals. They got Joker. Like, it's not, Darvin Ham losing to them is no knock. In fact, I would say LeBron let down the Lakers at the end of those games. If you remember, he was very turnover prone. He was missing shots. He was ineffective. He missed like layups and shots in the paint. I mean, the turnovers, let's just call a spade a spade. How are you going to have 4 or 5 turnovers in the 4th quarter at the end of those pivotal moments in those games? I'm not blaming Darvin Ham for that, right? That's on LeBron. And JJ Redick is going to have to deal with this shit too. Got a playoff run coming. His success will be measured on playoff success. If you want to say that he had a great season and you went above and beyond expectations, I'd say no. You got Luka and LeBron and Austin Reeves. Finishing 3rd, actually, in my opinion, kind of sort of a letdown. Probably should have finished 2nd. Maybe you couldn't catch the Thunder. Whatever. But he got a lot on that team. He had a lot to work with. I'm not impressed by him personally. Maybe you are. Let me know. Drop me some comments. I don't want to sound like a hater. I try to give you guys my logic and reasoning. And I don't like JJ Redick, but I will say that his outcomes this year were good. Still not better than Darvin Ham. No way, no how. Just LeBron played harder for him because he likes JJ Redick. He didn't like Darvin Ham. That was the difference. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Like, share, subscribe. Check out some more videos. We'll see you guys on the next one.